Infinite blackness stretches forever. Only the faintest stars pierce the dark. A colossal, battle-scarred warship slowly drifts into frame. Its once proud hull is covered in patchwork repairs, deep scorch marks from laser fire, and crude armor plates welded on during desperate repairs. One engine flickers unsteadily, the only sign of life in this dead sector of space. The captain, VO, weary but resolute. They told us the war would be over in 6 months. A swift counterstrike to push back the invaders. Instead, 43 long years passed in fire and silence. We watched entire fleets burn. We became the last. Now the old beacons have awakened. Against every odd, we are finally going home. Int. Bridge, the warship. Emergency red lighting casts long shadows. Consoles flicker and spark. Debris floats in sections where gravity has failed. Only 5 exhausted survivors remain to operate the massive vessel. The captain stands motionless at the main viewport, hands clasped behind the back, staring into the emptiness. Deep scars line the face, and the eyes hold decades of command and loss. The lieutenant, one arm secured in a makeshift sling from an old wound, checks tactical readouts with the good hand. The ensign, still young despite the years, works frantically at a damaged sensor station, fingers flying across cracked screens. The engineer, grizzled and older, with visible cybernetic replacements covering half the face from a blast long ago, monitors the straining engines. The marine, the final ground combat specialist, methodically sharpens a combat knife, movements precise and habitual. The captain. Give me a full status. Leave nothing out. The ensign. Voice cracking with a mix of fatigue and rising hope. Home beacon is locked. We are entering Sol system range. Earth orbit is achievable. But the data is wrong, Captain. No orbital traffic at all. No civilian signals. No military channels active. The entire system is silent. The engineer. The silence of a forgotten grave. After everything we sacrificed out there, this is what waits? The lieutenant. The remaining crew needs to hear the truth. They have bled for this moment. The captain. Open shipwide comms. Inform the survivors we are returning home. Whatever we find, we will face it with the same resolve that kept us alive among the stars. A weak but genuine cheer ripples through the intercom system, echoing faintly through the empty corridors. Cut to Int. Crew quarters and corridors, emotional montage. Throughout the dying ship, the handful of survivors react in their own ways. A young technician sits alone, tears streaming while clutching an old, faded family hologram. An aging gunner stares out a small porthole at the stars, quietly reciting names of lost friends and family. In the dimly lit mess hall, one survivor begins humming the ancient Earth anthem, Homeward Bound. Slowly, other hoarse, tired voices join in, creating a fragile chorus that fills the metal halls with renewed purpose. EXT approaching Earth orbit. The warship limps closer to the familiar blue-green world. Thick, unnatural gray clouds blanket entire continents. The dark side of the planet shows zero city lights. Wreckage of destroyed defense platforms and stations tumbles lazily in orbit. The ensign. The planet looks broken. Wounded on a global scale. The captain. Initiate full sensor sweep. Descent profile slow and cautious. Minimum shields. Treat any movement as potential threat until we confirm otherwise. Int. Bridge, tense. Soft alarms begin to sound. The lieutenant. Multiple surface anomalies. Massive artificial structures never seen in our records. Biological readings present but irregular across several regions. The engineer. The long war reached home ahead of us. Or something even more terrible took hold. The Marine. Then we do what we do best, finish the fight. The Captain. This is not another battlefield. We came to honor the fallen and discover if anything of humanity still survives. Prepare for atmospheric entry. EXT, Earth atmosphere, intense descent. The warship plunges through thick toxic cloud layers. Heat shields burn bright orange then white hot. Small sections of outer plating shear away in fiery trails. Violent turbulence shakes the entire frame. Int. Bridge, continuous turbulence. Crew braces at stations. The ensign. Integrity holding at critical levels. Landing zone identified, overgrown ruins of a once great coastal metropolis. The Captain. Ease her down. This vessel has carried us across the galaxy. Give her a gentle landing. With a final metallic groan and hiss of landing thrusters, the warship settles onto cracked concrete thickly covered by glowing vines. Towering skeletal skyscrapers loom nearby. In the hazy distance, the broken remains of a giant symbolic statue lie half-submerged in a newly formed sea. EXT, landing zone, dim, hazy daylight. The main ramp lowers with a hydraulic sigh. The 5 survivors emerge in patched environment suits, weapons and scanners raised. Harsh wind whips through the ruins, carrying strange scents. The Marine. Kneeling to touch the soil reverently. It still feels like home underfoot. But the air carries rain, metal, and something alien. The Engineer. Consulting battered scanner. Radiation levels are tolerable for limited exposure. These clouds and the jungle growth were deliberately engineered. The entire biosphere has been altered. A deep, guttural roar echoes from the dense vegetation, primal and threatening. The Lieutenant. That was no machine. The Captain. Maintain tight formation. Observe and assess before any engagement. Advance. Flashback sequence, 43 years previous. Int. Earth High Command Bunker, Piari War. A much younger the Captain stands at attention. High Commander. The enemy has launched total war against our system. Take the flagship and strike at their forward bases. By Earth every possible day. We will hold the line here. You will return to a free world. Young Captain. Understood, sir. How long must we hold the line? High Commander. For as long as necessary. The future depends on it. They exchange a firm handshake, but the commander's eyes reveal the heavy doubt behind the official words. Back to present, EXT, ruined former park. What was once a famous green space is now a dense, alien jungle. Towering trees with pulsing bioluminescent veins dominate the area. Small hybrid creatures scatter at the team's approach. The Ensign. Recovered a damaged plaque half buried. It reads, Restored Park, 2147. Only 10 years after our departure. The Marine. They resisted with everything they had, but time betrayed them. Without warning, a pack of aggressive wolf-like beasts, earth animals fused with enemy scales and tech implants, charges from the foliage. The Engineer. The enemy weaponized our own planet. A brutal skirmish erupts. Energy bolts crackle. The Marine engages in fierce close-quarters combat with knife and fists. The Lieutenant lays down covering fire one-handed. The Engineer activates an improvised EMP device that shorts out multiple enemy implants. The Ensign suffers a painful grazing burn but refuses to fall back. The Ensign. Through gritted teeth. Wound as minor. Continue the mission. The pack is eliminated. The team catches their breath and pushes deeper into the ruins. Int. Abandoned subway tunnel system, night. The group takes refuge in an old underground station. A small controlled fire provides light and warmth amid the concrete tomb. The lieutenant. Why was there never a recall order? We kept faster-than-light communications active for more than 10 years. The captain. Command lost the planet. They chose silence rather than summon us to a doomed defense. The Marine. Or the few who survived became something we might not even call human anymore. The engineer carefully inserts an ancient data crystal. A flickering hologram activates. Dying commander, hollow. To any surviving ships. Earth has fallen. The invaders breached every defense. In final desperation we deployed the Genesis Protocol, a plague engineered to render the world toxic to the enemy. It succeeded beyond measure and mutated wildly. The surface now belongs to new hybrid forms of life. If you hear this, forgive our choice. Do not throw your lives away here. Carry humanity's seed into the stars and rebuild. The hologram dies. A profound, heavy silence descends. The captain. They chose extinction to prevent total conquest. The ensign. Yet our sensors still detect human traces. Someone endured. EXT, deeper ruins, following day. Continuing the trek, the team finds evidence of recent habitation, hidden paths, small cultivated plots. Eventually they reach a concealed settlement. Dozens of low domes constructed from salvaged wreckage and tough local materials. Around 200 people live here under harsh conditions. Many show subtle hybrid features, faint scales, glowing vein patterns. The Elder, a hardened survivor leader armed with an old rifle, approaches with caution alongside armed scouts. The Elder. Who approaches our home? Sky ghosts or living legends? The captain. We are the final crew of the last warship. After decades lost in battle, we have returned to Earth. The Elder slowly lowers the weapon, overcome with emotion. Int. Large central dome, day. The community gathers. Stories flow freely around a central gathering space. The Elder. The plague devastated nearly all. Survivors adapted or died. The invaders eventually abandoned the world when it became deadly to their pure form. For 30 years we have hidden and rebuilt what little we can. A curious child with glowing skin patterns steps forward toward the captain. Child. You came from the stars? Did you battle the great sky monsters the whole time? The captain. Kneeling to speak gently. We fought without pause for decades. But real survival begins here, together. The lieutenant observes the settlement's armed patrols. The lieutenant. They are disciplined, yet live in constant fear of something bigger than daily threats. Abruptly, warning alarms, ringing bells and horns. Sound across the domes. EXT, settlement edge, action. A gigantic shadow looms. An enormous enemy harvester walker, biomechanical and building-sized, crashes through the jungle. It deploys collection pods, ruthlessly harvesting biomass. The Elder. They raid every few months. Steal what they need and leave destruction. The captain. We will not allow it today. Draw the machine away from the civilians. The engineer, via comms from ship. Weapons systems are largely dead. I can channel emergency power for one final dorsal plasma strike. After that the ship will be powerless. The captain. Copy. Execute the plan. EXT, ruined city streets, major battle. Intense running combat through collapsed buildings. The team uses flares and precise shots to provoke the harvester. The Marine sprints dangerously close to plant charges on leg joints. The ensign interfaces directly with an exposed data port to cause system failures. The captain and the lieutenant direct fire from ruined overpasses. The machine roars thunderously, smashing structures and forcing constant movement. The captain. Standing exposed on high ground. This ends for every fallen soul, for every lost year. Fire. A brilliant plasma beam lances down from orbit, striking the core. The harvester erupts in a massive fireball of fluid, shrapnel, and flames. Cheers and cries of relief rise from the settlement. Int. Central Dome, evening celebration. Rations are shared. Old songs play on improvised instruments. The mood is hopeful but subdued. The Elder. Stay with us. Your warship could supply power and protection for generations as we rebuild. The Captain. The vessel belongs to the stars. Part of the crew will remain to safeguard this reborn cradle. The rest will fly onward to locate other scattered human outposts. We cannot be the only ones left. The Marine. The ground calls to me. I will stay and defend it. The Ensign. My path is among the stars. The search continues. The Engineer. I will keep the old warship flying for one final mission. The Lieutenant. We divide our remaining strength wisely. EXT, landing zone, dawn. Goodbyes are exchanged. Half the survivors remain with the settlement. The others board for the journey ahead. The Elder. The last warship did not just return. It delivered hope to a broken world. The Captain. We protected that hope through endless night. It will not fade now. The child presses a small, precious earth seed pod into the Captain's palm. Child. Take this. Plant it on a new world so the old one is remembered forever. The Captain. You have my word. Int. Bridge, final departure. Engines ignite with a determined hum. The Ensign. Navigation set. Nearest potential colony signal is 40 light-years distant. The Captain. Launch. Take us to the stars once more. The warship ascends gracefully. Below, the settlement waves. The damaged Earth slowly recedes in the viewport. The Captain, VO. We departed Earth as soldiers of a great civilization. We returned as scarred echoes carrying the last light of that dream. Yet echoes possess power. They can spark new beginnings across countless worlds. The terrible war has ended at last. Now the true journey starts, gathering every lost piece of humanity and forging a future among the infinite stars. Home was never only a single planet. It was the will to endure. EXT. Deep space. The warship accelerates and vanishes into a faster-than-light jump, trailing brilliant blue energy. Fade to black. Title card. The last human warship returned home. Humanity's story was only beginning. Post-credits scene. EXT, dense jungle, forgotten enemy site. A sealed biopod buried in vines suddenly activates and opens with a hiss. A lone enemy scout emerges, sensors activating. It gazes upward toward the sky where the warship disappeared. Enemy scout, subtitled, harsh alien voice. The last vessel has returned. The long cycle of war awakens again. Final fade out.